Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Yesterday, President Trump has hosted the first cabinet meeting that I have been watching live in full length. And I will show you one clip from that meeting, but we will start this video today with another monster or creature. Well, this one is truly monster that's coming to United States with a visit, and this is the Prime Minister of United Kingdom, whose speech I was reading to you on my Sunday video. And many of you left the comments. So this is what Starmer, the Prime Minister of UK, hated by many, that is certain, is saying before his visit to United States. Not only a monster for many UK citizens, but also a liar. Right in your face. Let me take you to the short clip. It's about 1 minute long.
Message is really simple, that there is no more important relationship for the United Kingdom in defence, in security, in trade, in tech, in finance, and so much more. We have an incredible $1.5 trillion invested in each other's economies. Our trading relationship is not just strong, it's fair and balanced. And we work together to create amazing things like the internet or the jet engine. But most of all, and this is really the bedrock of that relationship, we share fundamental values of openness, of democracy, freedom of speech, freedom to thrive, and freedom to pursue the future. So we want to strike a new partnership. We share the view that our best days lie ahead. And, you know, taking out a chainsaw isn't quite my style, but we are stripping away red tape and bureaucracy. We are reforming permitting, getting things built, reducing barriers to investment and growth. And we're open for business, open for investment, and we're determined to help US innovators thrive in the United Kingdom. So my message is we want to work with you. We want to welcome you to Britain. We want a new partnership because our history shows that when we work together, great things happen.
Okay, a few things here. Did you see the next video recommended by YouTube? Wrestling Church tournament in UK. What was that? Anyway, one thing that I liked in that video was the flowers behind him. Besides that, nothing. Freedom of speech. This is coming from someone who is putting his own, well, not his citizens, but the citizens of the country that he's supposed to represent in jails. Grandmothers being visited by the police officers because they have put out a post on Facebook that the government doesn't agree with. What is this monster talking about? You know, again, I always look at the energy of the person. I read the face expression, look in the eyes. And when I look in the eyes of this person, Starmer, of course, I know a little bit about his behavior, but you can clearly tell when you look at the eyes that he is someone very stubborn and someone who could be very cruel and not open to hearing the other side, not open to negotiating. Someone very, very despotic. I was looking for the right word. I think very, very despotic, very totalitarian, and you can see it in the eyes. And usually that kind of attitude, this stiffness and stubbornness comes from deeply, deeply rooted insecurities and fear, which is, again, you break it down, someone who's very, very afraid, fearful. So he's coming to the United States today. And on that note, I want to take you to the video from the cabinet meeting that took place yesterday. And During that meeting, many statements have been made, many questions have been asked by the journalists. And President Trump said that there will be 25% on tariffs. I think this is for Mexico and Canada. I am not sure if this number is the same for Europe, because if it is, pretty much I'm out. As far as that part of trade goes, right? 25% on tariffs. But he's going to talk about answering the question about what kind of security guarantees he's going to provide for Ukraine. We will go there. Right after that, I will take you to Zelensky's press conference yesterday and what he said about this deal that he apparently will be signing this Friday, so the day after tomorrow, as he's arriving in US as well. And then we will go to the poll. It's a recent poll. Let me check right here, guys, what I have here. It's a symbolic poll. How many Ukrainians really support Zelensky? And then I have two more articles for you. So let's go to the cabinet meeting from yesterday and let's listen about 2-3 minutes long. This is Trump talking about what kind of security guarantees he's going to provide Ukraine.
Can you talk a little bit about what type of security guarantees you're willing to make?
Well, I'm not going to make security guarantees beyond very much. We're going to have Europe do that because it's in, we're talking about Europe as their next door neighbor. But we're going to make sure everything goes well. And as you know, we'll be making we'll be really partnering with Ukraine in terms of rare earth. We very much need rare earth. They have great rare earth. We'll be working with Secretary Burgum and with Chris. You'll be working on that together. And we're going to be able to have tremendous, this gives us, because we don't have that much of it here. We have some, but we don't have that much. We need a lot more to really propel us to the next level to lead in every way. We're leading right now with AI. We're leading with everything right now, but we need resources. We have to double our electric capacity. We have to do many things. We have to really triple, if you think of it, the electric capacity from what we have right now, if you can believe it. So I just say this. So the deal we're making gets us, it brings us great wealth. We get back the money that we spent, and we hope that we're going to be able to settle this up. We want to settle it. We want to stop. I tell you what, I'm doing it for two reasons, but the number one reason by far is to watch all these people being killed. I see pictures every week from, I assume satellite pictures mostly, but there's some pictures on site of thousands of soldiers that are being killed. They're being decimated because equipment today, military equipment, is so powerful and so devastating. And number one, I want to see people stop. And they're not from here. They're from primarily two other countries. And then, by the way, let's talk about the Middle East. We got to solve that problem too. And that's come a long way. We're doing very well in that also. A lot of things are happening on that. But I'm watching soldiers being killed, Ukrainian and Russian soldiers being killed. My number one thing is to get that stopped. My number two thing is I don't want to have to pay any more money because Biden has spent $350 billion without any chance of getting it back. Now we're going to be getting all of that money back plus a lot more. And we provided a great thing. We've provided something very important. And we'll be working with Ukraine, and because we'll be taking that, we're going to be taking what we're entitled to take. Now, they spent $350 billion and Europe spent $100 billion. Now, does anybody really think that's fair? But then we find out a little while ago, not so long ago, a few months ago, I found out that the money they spent, they get back. But the money we spent, we don't get back. I said, well, we're going to get it back. And we'll be able to make a deal. And again, President Zelensky is coming to sign the deal. And it's a great thing. It's a great deal for Ukraine, too, because they get us over there. And we're going to be working over there. We'll be on the land. And, in that way, there's sort of automatic security because nobody's going to be messing around with our people when we're there. And so we'll be there in that way. But Europe will be watching it very closely. I know that UK has said and France has said that they volunteered to put so-called peacekeepers on the site, and I think that's a good thing.
Mr.
Okay, so from what I understand, from the last few weeks of those talks and statements, is there will be no US troops in Ukraine. That's what they are saying. However, they will have people who are investing or taking care of those rare minerals. That part of the deal. So this is apparently the American side. That's how they are presenting this. But as far as NATO troops, there will be no NATO troops, even though, you know, during Biden, there were plenty NATO troops. But let me show you the article from TASS, and this is from today. TASS has reported, this is, sorry guys, from yesterday, 26. TASS has reported on Trump saying that Ukraine can forget about joining NATO. He actually said it, but this was a pretty long live about over an hour, so I don't have the exact clip. But here is what Trump said. He was asked about those concessions Washington will seek from Moscow as part of Ukraine's settlement. And he said, I don't want to tell you right now, but I can tell you NATO, you can forget about. That's probably the reason the whole thing started. So I remember the statement, he actually mentioned this again, that Ukraine is to forget about joining NATO. And now, guys, I want to take you to Zelensky, because Zelensky yesterday was having some kind of like a press conference. And you know what? Some of you maybe will understand where I'm going with this. A while back, I think, I'm not sure who was visiting Kiev at the time. There was, I'm not sure if it was Biden or someone else. I forgot who was it, what kind of official was there. But they were recording that moment when Zelensky was coming inside the building, walking inside the building with that guest, and they were going upstairs. They're supposed to go upstairs by the stairs. And they actually caught on camera his double. So there was another person, it was like Zelensky 2.0, copy paste, walking right behind him. And I think many of you remember this moment. If I am able to find that video again, I will play it for you in the next videos. But, you know, this is not a surprise to anyone that, you know, there are doubles and other things. And when I was watching that press conference with Zelensky yesterday, I was feeling like this might be actually his double. It just felt strange. So that's just my perception. But let me know what you think. Let's play this little clip and his statement about the trip to United States and what kind of deal he will be signing on Friday.
Ця угода може бути великий успіх мати або тихенько пройти. А великий успіх, я вважаю, залежить від нашої розмови з президентом Трампом. Немає договіру, який наступний. Ось він складніший буде і серйозніший, тому що наступний договір про фонд. І там буде вже якісь там відносини партнерські, гроші, тощо і так далі. Так? І ось наступний договір, він буде вже мати обов'язкову ратифікацію в парламенті України. Безумовно, це про економіку договір, але я дуже просив, щоб з'явилось хоча б розуміння, що ми однаково бачимо, що все це є частиною майбутніх гарантій безпеки. І тому навіть в рамковій угоді я дуже хотів, щоб з'явилось хоча б речення гарантії безпеки України. І те, що мене брифінгували урядовці, це з'явилось, не пам'ятаю, в 10-му пункті чи в якому, важливо, що це є. Ця угода може бути частиною майбутніх гарантій безпеки, але я хочу розуміти, угода угодою, а треба розуміти ширше бачення, що чекає Україну, де ми. Головне для мене було, що ми не є боржниками, і незважаючи, що де звучить в медіа, в угоді немає ні 500 мільярдів боргу, ні 350, ні 100 мільярдів, тому що це було би несправедливо. My question will be very direct: if United States will stop support or not. Can we buy weapon? If it's not aid, can we buy weapon directly from the United States? So the third point, can we work with frozen assets for buying weapon, for example?
I know it's hard for many of you to even look at the face and listen to this man speak, as if he's really so genuine and he cares about what is next for Ukraine. I'm just wondering if he will even be in Ukraine at all, how much longer he will be in Ukraine. We see, because wouldn't be a nice twist when all of a sudden, maybe this year, we will have some tribunals going. Wouldn't be something. And whatever he's signing, does it mean anything at this point? I think they were voting in Verkhovna Rada a few days ago that new elections will be happening in Ukraine after the end of the war. We see how this goes. Now, this is what he wants. He wants security guarantees. Okay, let's see what is his popularity. This article I found on Polish, let me find it, guys, 1 second. On Polish portal, this is about support for Zelensky, a symbolic poll. So many Ukrainians really support Zelensky. I don't believe in polls, but let's read this. Let's see how close or how far from the truth they are. In recent days, Ukrainians' trust in Volodymyr Zelensky has increased. Dziennik Prawna, this is the Polish newspaper. I'm not sure if Soros money is behind it, but probably. Describes, citing the results of the survey, the Ukrainian president benefited from the public conflict between Washington and Kiev. So I think this is actually the opposite way, but let's read this. Donald Trump calling him a dictator without an election and suggesting that it was Ukraine that started the war actually helped Zelensky. I think this is BS, but let's continue. According to the data published on the basis of a survey conducted on February 20 to 21st by the Rating, I don't know how to say it, Center, 32% of Ukrainian citizens declare full trust in Zelensky. And a further 33 say they rather trust him. They like this 33, huh? The total trust index reached 65%, which is an increase of 8 percentage points compared to the previous month. Okay, what I really think is this. Trump said that Zelensky had like 4% of approval in the ratings, so they had to create a story that no, he actually has much higher, and now we know, we trust him, it doesn't matter, he's pulling people out from the malls and the streets and treating them like piece of garbage, and they are pretty much sent to die, like they know already, and they definitely support him. Like, who's buying this stuff? But since we are on the topic of money, guys, actually, let me show you this, what I came across. This is about USAID and what USAID was supporting in Poland. So the corruption with USAID, as you remember, looks like that money was spent on electing Donald Tusk. But let me find you another article. Sorry guys, let me find you another one, because this one is pretty lengthy and the other one is just more to the point and gives you some numbers, how much money American taxpayers had paid to put Tusk in power in Poland as a prime minister. Right here we go. US taxpayer money helped overthrow the Polish government. Elon Musk reacts to the reports of Gazeta Polska. So I was like, okay, what is this? Let's read this. And it says Elon Musk, Dodge, the investigation of Gazeta Polska, this is Polish newspaper, revealed that millions of dollars from the pockets of American taxpayers during the Biden era went to Polish groups working to weaken the peace government, this is law and justice government, and promote leftist policies. USAID grants have been used to fund activist groups, progressive media, and efforts to silence conservative media outlets such as TV Republika by putting pressure on advertisers. And here it says that during Joe Biden's tenure, millions of American dollars went to organizations to overthrow the most pro-American government in the Third Polish Republic. I just want to remind everyone that law and justice was, okay, I am not pro-law and justice at all. I am not pro-Tusk at all, but people who don't live in Poland think that law and justice was for freedom of speech and other things. Absolutely not, because during law and justice, a lot of laws have been put into existence that were about censorship and silencing the, the free voices of people as well, and journalists as well. So please don't buy into this like they were so good and then because of that money they overthrow them and now we have Tusk. It's not this case, because both sides are just as corrupted. It's just like, two different parties, but they really are like one, kind of. Not surprised, right? But here is the article. I'm going to attach it down below. So yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? They were supporting all this rainbow situation and Tusk campaign on this, like love. Yeah, that was in Poland. And, they say he won. I think most of elections are rigged and put as they want them to be into existence. But now let's talk about the visit, if Trump is coming to Poland, because it looks like he will be coming after we have new president, probably. New date of Donald Trump's visit to Poland for presidential candidates. This means one thing. What does it mean? Trump will probably not come to Poland before the presidential election, which I think we have June or July this year. According to information from Wirtualna Polska, the end of June is perhaps the most likely date for the American president's visit to Warsaw. So that will be interesting. Maybe he goes to Moscow first and then on the way he stops in Warsaw. What is the priority, right? Let me see if I have anything else for you guys today. I think that's all I have. Yeah, that's all I have for you today. I will attach all the links down below in the description box. Thank you so much for watching and for hitting the like, sharing, subscribing, and leaving the comments. I always appreciate to read your point of view, as long as it's not full of hate, aggression, and nasty words. Thank you so much. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. It's AniaK_44. If you want to support me on Patreon or Locals, or you can do it via PayPal or buying me a coffee. Lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. And I see you in another video. Bye, everyone.